It was snowing hard in New York that night. The streets below shimmered with laughter, lights, and warmth. Families were carrying gifts, kids were making snow angels, and music from distant carolers floated through the frosty air. But up in the 52nd floor of a glass tower, Evelyn Hart, CEO of Hart Global Industries, sat in silence, the kind that could break a person's soul. Evelyn was the kind of woman magazines called the Iron Lady of business. She had built an empire from scratch, one that produced luxury goods now sold across continents. People admired her power, feared her presence, and envied her achievements. Yet, no one knew that every Christmas Eve, she sat by her desk, pretending to work, only because she couldn't bear to face the empty penthouse she called home. A photo frame lay turned face down on her desk. It was the last Christmas she'd spent with her parents before their car accident 15 years ago. Since then, the holiday had become nothing but a reminder of loss, of what she could never buy back. Her assistant had begged her to go home earlier. "Ma'am, the office is closed. You should celebrate." "Celebrate what, Lisa?" she had replied with that same cold smile. And so, when midnight neared, Evelyn found herself alone, staring out at the glittering skyline, rich, powerful, and profoundly lonely. Until a sudden knock shattered the silence. She frowned. The building was supposed to be empty. Another knock, softer this time. Hesitant. Evelyn walked toward the door, heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. When she opened it, she didn't see a security guard or a delivery man. She saw a little girl, maybe 6 years old, bundled in a red coat, holding a teddy bear with one arm torn off. Beside her stood a man in a worn leather jacket, snow dusting his hair. "I'm sorry to bother you," he said quickly, his breath misting in the cold air. "We were walking by, and my daughter's toy broke." She saw the light and thought maybe someone could help fix it. For a moment, Evelyn was speechless. The contrast was almost surreal, a billionaire CEO facing a shivering father and his little girl in the middle of a snowstorm. The girl looked up at her with wide, hopeful eyes. "Can you fix him, miss? He's my Christmas bear." Something in Evelyn's chest stirred, something she hadn't felt in years. She hesitated, then opened the door wider. "Come in," she said softly. Inside, the man introduced himself. "Daniel Miller. I'm a single dad. We live a few blocks away. I'm sorry if this is weird, she just really believes every problem has a fix." Evelyn gave a faint smile. "Then she's already wiser than most adults I know." As the snowstorm roared outside, Evelyn sat at her desk with tools from her drawer, carefully stitching the bear's torn arm. The little girl watched with fascination, swinging her legs off the chair. Daniel, meanwhile, noticed the photo frame turned upside down and the exhaustion behind Evelyn's polished smile. When the bear was fixed, the girl hugged it tight. "Thank you. You're like Santa in heels." Evelyn chuckled, genuinely, for the first time in years. Before leaving, Daniel turned to her. "We were heading to the Christmas market tomorrow. You should come. It's small, but warm. People matter more than profits there." She shook her head automatically. "I don't do markets." But after they left, the silence felt different. Softer. As if some piece of their laughter had stayed behind. Evelyn looked out the window again, and for the first time, she didn't feel entirely alone. The next morning, Evelyn found herself unable to focus on work. Her mind kept replaying the child's smile, that pure, unfiltered joy that no luxury product could ever imitate. By noon, she was standing by her penthouse window, watching families head toward the market Daniel mentioned. Against every instinct, she picked up her coat and left. When she arrived, no one recognized her as the powerful CEO. She blended into the crowd, surrounded by laughter, the scent of cocoa, and the sound of children singing carols. And there they were, Daniel and his daughter, Lily, helping at a small stall selling handmade toys. Lily spotted her first. "You came," she squealed, running toward her. Daniel turned, surprised but smiling. "Didn't think you were the kind to take a day off." Evelyn laughed. "Neither did I." As the day passed, she learned more about them, how Daniel had been a mechanical engineer before losing his job, how he started fixing old toys to make ends meet, and how every Christmas, they gave free gifts to kids who couldn't afford them. By evening, Evelyn had forgotten her phone, her deadlines, and her board meetings. She was helping wrap toys, sharing stories, even singing softly with the crowd. When snow began to fall again, Lily handed her a small wooden ornament shaped like a heart. "It's for you. So you don't have to spend Christmas alone anymore." The words hit Evelyn deeper than she expected. Tears welled up in her eyes as she hugged the girl gently. Later that night, Daniel walked her home. The city lights flickered against the snow, and for the first time in years, Evelyn felt warmth that no fireplace could give. "You know," Daniel said quietly, "people like you build empires, but sometimes forget to build memories." Evelyn smiled, her voice barely a whisper. "Then maybe it's time I start."